All right. Good morning, all. This is our scheduling design session for the Transitional Pain Clinic. So our purpose today is to review the Cerner scheduling build. We're going to review everything that we talked about in our gathering session and make sure I captured everything correctly. And if there's any changes or gaps that have come about since our last meeting on this, Grace. So we'll be walking through all of that. Have I showed you the demo for the scheduling, Grace?
Yeah, I think you did briefly last meeting. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to show you kind of what we're looking at doing. So this is what your bookshelf's going to be. It's going to call VGH Transitional Pain Clinic bookshelf. And then these will be the books here that will be on this shelf. And then the resources that will be inside those books. So you're going to have an all book. You'll have one for just the providers, one for the RNs, PT, OT, the psychologist, and I'm building one for pharmacy. So in the future, when you have a pharmacist, it will already be there and you're ready to go. All right, so I want to kind of jump over here. And this is that spreadsheet that we had talked about last time about the when they have their schedules. This is the bookshelf, just like I had shown over there. But this is what I'm actually going to be building out for schedules. So I have for Dr. McGrath does not have a set schedule. It's just on the fly. Correct?
That's correct. Thanks, Brian.
Okay. But Dr. Butterfield is from 1 to 4 on Mondays.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I have Dr. Azar on Wednesdays from 9:30 to 2.
Yep.
Okay. Dr. Chen is 8:30 to 11 on Thursdays.
Yes.
Okay. Dr. Mayan?
Yeah, Dr. Meehan?
Ian from 1 to 4 on Thursdays.
Yes.
Okay. And then I have Alex every other Tuesday starting March 14th, 8 to 4. And then a Wednesday, Thursday from 8 to 4.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And then I have Sarah. She starts on the 21st every other from 8 to 4. And then Wednesdays and Thursdays are from 8 to 4.
Correct.
Okay. I have Dr. Jai.
Dr. G.
G.
Yeah.
G. Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays from 8 to 4.
Yeah. Good.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we have a resident, psychologist residence, only on Thursdays from 8 to 4.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And then we have Lana. She is Tuesdays starting 3/7 every other from 8 to 2:30.
Yep.
And then starting 3:14 every other, she's 8 to 4.
Yes.
Okay. And then I have a Wednesday and Thursday, she every week from 8 to 4.
Yes, that's correct.
And then we're going to have a generic RN for you. So when you have a fill-in, they'll have the exact same schedule.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Okay.
Mhm.
Is there anybody that I have missed for their schedules?
No, everybody's in. Well, I guess except for the pharmacy, which it's not really.
I'm not going to put a pharmacy schedule in. They'll just be in the book.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
when you get a pharmacist, you can temporarily, I'm going to show you how to add slots. And then you can just build a temporary schedule, and then you can submit one for to have a permanent schedule be put in.
Okay. Quick question, Brian. Is this modifiable? Because sometimes, let's say some of the doctors or the providers, they have that set schedule, but then there are other days that they would, oh, let's cancel Wednesday, but can I come in Tuesday? So is that
Yes.
modifiable? Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Yes. And I'll show you how to I'll show you how to do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's called adding and removing slots. And part of your training that you're going to go to is you're going to actually get to do that. They're going to show you how to add and remove slots, and how the appointments will be booked and all things like that.
Okay.
Okay. But yes, it's very modifiable. All right. So then we were talking about appointment types. So this is what I have come up with and have I am presenting you that we use to make this the most efficient based off of what we know. We have for the providers, we have a follow-up for 30 minutes, an initial for 60. Then there's a case conference for 60. And then there is a provider group for 90 minutes, and that's for Dr. Butterfield on my end.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Right? Okay. We're going to have what we call a triage call. And that's for the RN, the OT, the PT, and psych for 15 minutes. And it'll be attached to the accept referral. And I'll show you that here in just a few minutes. How that attaches in. So that's your triage call.
Okay. Oh, Brian, sorry, just to jump back to that slots, the scheduling slots. Did you put in a group slots as well?
No, this is all opens. Do you have set group times?
Yes, because basically just like in PCIS, it has a different code, like T1135, that I enter whoever the attendees for that group class is. But it'll still be under Dr. Whoever's facilitating the meeting, like the class, but it has a different like code. Like,
So then you need is that defined like every Tuesday they do a group class, or every Thursday, or?
no, it doesn't have a concrete dates or set up times, but it's usually once a month or once every 2 months with Dr. Butterfield. So it just depends when it falls off, like which date it falls off.
Okay, so is that also for Dr. Mayan too? Do they have to have the group?
Yes, so it's the same thing.
Okay, so we need a group slot.
That's what I'm like. Oh, okay, I think that's the one we're
Yes.
missing. Yeah.
Yes, so I'll create you a group slot.
Okay.
And again, you will just add it as you know when the class is.
Okay.
you'll be able to remove or add it on and then block off their schedule so nobody can be in during that time frame.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Now, is that the same going to be for the psychology group? Is that, or is that more defined?
Well, right now we only have those two group classes that we're facilitating, but I think in the future, Dr. G, I think they're planning to have a more like defined psychology group. So I'm not sure about that. But I think that can be still entered under the group class slot. Because when,
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
So I'm just, they also have floating times or
yeah,
dates when, right?
yeah,
Okay. So then we'll use the same slot here for both of them. And you just add it as you need to.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we have that. So the triage call, like I said, is a 15-minute appointment. So then we have you will have a nurse new appointment for 30 minutes. And then there's 2 RN follow-ups, one for post-op and one for pre-op.
Brian, the nurse new is 60 minutes.
This is 60, okay?
Yes, yeah.
All right. We will then have what we call an OT follow-up and an OT new for 60 minutes. We'll have a PT follow-up, a PT new, and then there will also be an acupuncture one for 60 minutes. Okay. Now, does she have a defined time when she's going to do acupuncture, or is it just going to be whenever in the day?
I think we haven't decided about that. So I think,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Psychology follow-up, psychology new, and psychology group. The follow-up and the new are 60 and the group is 90. And so the group is led by Dr. G. And then we'll have a pharmacy follow-up and a pharmacy initial for 15 minutes. And it's just going to use a generic pharmacy resource right now. So that once you get it, you can at least start booking them until you create the new actual more specific pharmacy. Does that make sense, Grace? Grace, did we lose
Oh,
you?
yes. Sorry.
No
I
problem.
was talking and my thing was muted. Yes, that's correct. Thanks, Brian.
All right. So the nurse follow-up, post-op, and pre-op is good, right?
Yeah, that should be fine because normally she doesn't really do any follow-ups, only when needed.
Okay.
But 30 minutes should be fine. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I thought I read something where they try and differentiate between the pre and post and prioritizing bookings. I could be wrong. Oh, all right. So I think we're good with that. So for research, we are not going to right now give you anything because we don't have a defined research rate at the moment. Eventually you will get it when you start doing research. They'll build it for you.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so next question is on the appointment types, on your appointment types. Do you have any required preps or patient instructions?
For appointment types, well, for new patients, we have this initial email that we sent them with all the PDF forms about the clinic and some instructions about, how to join when the meeting is over Zoom. Or instructions like where to go. Is that what you're asking?
That's what I'm needing,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, and instructions where they need to go, and then yeah, there's like a
Can,
whole resources that we email it to them prior.
can you email that to me,
For
please?
sure, yeah, I can send it over.
Because I'm going to build that out as part of your appointment types. So it'll be there when you book their appointments.
Okay. And do you want me to send you the template as well we use when sending follow-up appointments? Or is
Yes,
that going to be
please.
okay, sure. Initial and follow-up. Okay.
All right. And then that way I can start building all those preps out for you. All right. So I'm going to just kind of give you a high level view of what the orders are going to look like that you're going to see when they come to your request lists. And just so you have an idea of what's on them. Okay. So
Okay.
this one right here is called the referral to the outpatient transitional pain. And then the providers would then fill in their what we call the scheduling priority that's required for them. And then for reason for the exam or referral and the location in which they want it to be done at, which would be VGH trans pain for you. The providers place this in other clinics and other inpatient areas, the request referral to you, and it comes across as a TPC initial consult. So when you look in your request list, you will see it as the appointment type and then this referral. And again, I'm going to show you how it all comes together here in just a sec.
Okay.
So, and then there's this is kind of all the standard as we have in what we call an accept referral order. And when the provider triages it, and they place what we call we're accepting this referral, it will be they can either choose a TCP initial consult, or they can do the TCP triage call. And then that way, and then in the reason for the reason for the exam, I believe it is, or special instructions, I'm sorry, they can say whether it goes to PT, OT, or something like that.
Okay.
Okay. The follow-up orders, this is when either the RN or one of the providers places the follow-up transitional pain order. They can send it to you and it'll say either TCP follow-up, or the provider wants to go to the case conference or to the group, or for an RN follow-up. So if the RN wants another follow-up, they would put this in.
Okay.
Okay. Then we're going to have a follow-up clinic VCH TCP psychology. They will have the psychology follow-up and the screening and the group. So when the psychologist has seen their patient and they say, okay, I want to do a follow-up with you, they're going to place this follow-up order. And if they want to do it to a group so that you can book it, they would choose the group appointment type that they want you to book for. This gives you the direction in which you need to go for booking the appointment. Then there'll be one for occupational therapy. So there'll be a OT follow-up and an OT new. A PT follow-up and then PT new. When we put the PT news in here and OT follow-up news, it's so that they can do what we call an internal referral. So if the physical therapist thinks the OT needs to see them, they can refer them over to the others.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And then we'll have a follow-up pharmacy one, which I have a pharmacy initial and a pharmacy follow-up. And then this will be your schedule acupuncture, and it goes to the acupuncture. So let me show you how all that's going to work. So this is that request list. I had showed it to you last time, but we're going to really dive into it now. So when those orders come across at the provider's place, they will show up here on your request list right here. And then those appointments that they select will show up here. And this is how you will know which appointment you're booking for. So they're going to tell you which appointment they want. It will come to here, and then you will know exactly what you're booking for. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. And then from here, you're just going to right click and complete the order, and it just books it out for you. Do you have any questions on this?
For this request list, it'll show up any referrals that the providers are requesting to, like, let's say, to other departments too, right? Like, this will be the request list.
Right.
It'll show. Okay.
This will be your home request list.
Okay. Okay.
So any referrals, any orders, any follow-ups will come to this list.
Okay.
Okay. And in each one of these columns, if you click on the headers, they will actually sort. It allows you to sort. So you can do like alpha sort A to Z or Z to A, sort by appointment types, like you have a specific one you're trying to book out, or by orders. You can sort it however you want to sort.
Okay, that's great.
So that should help you so you don't have to feel like you're hunting and pecking. A lot of them, they sort by the patient name. So you see all of those orders that are there for that patient, and then you can just take care of them.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Sorry, I just got booted out of the Cerner real quick.
Sorry, Brian, what did you say?
I had Cerner up, but I just got booted out.
Okay.
So I could go into the domain. We got high winds here, so we're losing stuff. So let's talk about, let's just review our automated reminders. So I have Pinky as gonna be kind of the manager's name on it. It'll be going to the VGH transitional pain. At vch.ca. And this is the phone number we're having for the clinic. Does that all look right?
6309. Oh, is that Pinky's?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's the
Pinky's.
Pinky's. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
Pinky's.
That's right.
Then we have your clinic hours of 8 to 4. You have very low no-show rates. You do use currently callback and do emails. You had selected you wanted 3 days notification for reminders when they calls out.
Yeah.
And here is the clinic phone number.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right. This is going to be all of the appointment types that we're going to include that will get AAR. The only ones that will not is the block time that we're giving you and the case conference. Because normally case conferences don't have the patients in it. So we'll exclude that one.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And then we're going to look at this. This is the wording of the scripts. It just says, hello, this is the appointment reminder for VGH Transitional Pain Clinic, your date of your appointment. Please note the following message regarding COVID-19 and your appointment instructions. Then this will be where all of those preps that you give me, especially for like in person or based on whether or not it's in person, virtual, all of that, this is where they will get those preps. And then if you need to cancel or reschedule, it will go to that 3653 number. And it just says thank you.
Okay.
So this is if somebody actually answers the call, this is what they'll hear. If it's a voicemail, this is what they will hear here. It's the VGH transitional pain, the date, COVID message. It's exactly the same as a live one. The email has, hello, this appointment reminder is from VGH transitional pain and you're reminded of your appointment. Please review COVID. The only difference is that it says, please do not reply to this email. It is not monitored address. It has cancel, reschedule. And then we have the text one. And this is what it'll say, reminder, VGH Transitional Pain Clinic, the appointment date, any COVID messages or visit modality specific, and then a number to change it. Since we have a character limit of 160 characters, this is all you're gonna get. They get.
Okay.
Okay. But you would, if they were gotten, if they needed documents or things like that, you would just have to mail it to them.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
This is just what is sent to their phone, right? So like the COVID message is a link. It actually is just a link. And it takes them to the VGH COVID messaging. So it's all via link, and so that's what keeps it down to character limits. Reminders are only sent Monday through Friday between the hours of 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. They will only be one reminder sent unless they choose the location group allowing 2 reminders. On the emails, this is the email address that will show up. And then the subject line will be.
Okay.
Okay. So we're just confirming that that is all good so we can start the building of that.
Brian, for the last one, the like the subject, it says appointment reminder. What I normally do is when I'm emailing the patients, it'll say TPC and then appointment reminder. Does that work? Or it's fine too, if just a plain appointment reminder is fine too.
Like this one right here.
And at the very bottom, the last one that you showed, it
Oh,
says there the email subject line, appointment
Yeah.
reminder. What we normally do is to say TPC, so they are aware that it's coming from Transitional Pain Clinic. It's appointment reminder, but it's fine.
Unfortunately, no. This is a enterprise standard
Oh,
of one. Yeah, that's what, so that they don't have to maintain them all.
okay, that's good. It's all good. Thank you.
Uh-huh. All right. Do you have any questions right now?
No, it's all good.
Okay. So now we're going to really look at the reports. So we have what we call the pivot table. The pivot table is literally a one-stop shop. So here you will be able to pick what appointments, what statuses, so you build you're building your own table. You can pull your own stats from what we call appointment level data. So anything that's entered in there, like when it's canceled, checked in, checked out, no showed and things like that, we can give you those stats using the pivot table. All the rows are customizable. And so it is very easy to use. When you start your training, you will actually get to build a pivot table report so you can see how it all functions.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Quick question, Brian.
Uh-huh.
For when entering a patient into the system, will there be like a different function to differentiate the pre-op and post-op? So I'm just like thinking forward. So it captures here in the pivot, right? Like if we wanted that stat, will it capture there? Or is it
So
entered?
if they use that RN pre and post, those would show up here.
Oh, okay, so it'll capture it. Okay.
Yes. As long as they're using those appointments, yes, you can pull the stats on it.
Okay, good. Thank you.
So that's where it's going to be, you know, kind of as you're doing it, say, make sure you're picking the right appointment types that you want us to run stats against. And you're using those appointments. Now, as those two are in pre and post going to work?
Sorry, say that again.
That RN follow-up pre-op post-op, is that the only ones you need defined as pre-op and post-op?
No, it's with the whole thing, with the whole, because like with the providers, they see pre and post, right? As well.
So do they need their follow-ups defined between pre and post?
I would think so. I think it would be with everybody.
So the PT, the OT, the site, all of them?
Because see, in PCIS, when we have a referral, let's say for a post-op, we enter it as coded as TP, means it's a post-op. So whenever we make an encounter, we select that specific encounter. So it's automatically what do you call this? Entered as a post-op. So I'm not sure about how Cerner is, if there's how it'll be differentiated between pre and post.
Well, that would have to be at the appointment type level.
Okay.
So then, so that would mean that we would need to create for every one of these follow-ups, a pre and post,
Hmm.
because they'd have their new, and then they would have a follow-up of a pre and post.
Yeah, yeah.
Does
So
that sound
that patient,
right?
yes, that's correct. Because it could be a new patient, but is it a pre or post? How, what I'm leaning is how we're gonna differentiate it in Cerner.
Well, that would be where you would do the differentiating it
Okay,
as via the appointment type.
okay,
Because otherwise, you wouldn't have that ability to pull stats against just free text fields. It has to be what we call codified data. So we would need to do it. Now, is a triage call, that is straight up just a triage call, right? It
just,
doesn't
yeah.
care
Well,
whether it's pre-op or post.
yes, because right now, okay, hold on. Because right now with LANA's triaging, we don't normally put that in PCIS, so we don't code it. So it's just how the patient the referral is entered in PCIS only when it's booked for the initial appointments. That's when it's like, okay.
We were talking about they were wanting to try and start capturing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
When
Yeah.
she does triage calls.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to need that triage call, but it doesn't need to differentiate between pre and post.
I think so. Yes.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
So we need a triage call pre-outpatient and a triage call post-op.
Post-op. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just checking if this is all this before.
Okay. So I'll need to come back through and I can do that. So I'm going to make, just like we have for the RNs, I'm going to make it for all the others. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. So then here, when you pull the stats on the appointment types, it will have all of those differentiates and you can tell when who's come in, out, checked in, checked out, no showed and all of that.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So then the next one, this report is what we call a location schedule summary. So as I'm building this and I create your locations and things like that, you'll be able to run this single location summary report, and it will tell you by date range who all is going to be coming in and what they're coming in for that specific date and specific location. Okay. So for your location, which would be the VGH trans pain, it would have everybody's. Every resource that we have built will be on this schedule. And this report goes by time. So everybody who has an 8 o'clock in the morning appointment will be here first, then 9, 10, so on and so forth. But you will see the entire clinic's schedule on one report. That could be actually overwhelming considering the number of people you have. So I'm not certain that you would really find this useful for you. Unless you've lost somebody and you're trying to find them, this might come to play here.
Okay.
So we have that person appointment itinerary. This report displays all appointments booked to a patient over a specific time period. So we have our test demo patient here. And we've said for now until, let's say, next month, excuse me, what all appointments do they have? And you will see all of the appointments for that patient and the inside the enterprise. So whether it's with you, whether it's with diabetes, whether it's with cardiac, medical imaging, any of those will show up on this list. The only thing that doesn't show up on this list is what we call restricted areas. And that's normally like psychology. There's appointments won't show up, and the care area. Which is, you know, the abortion area and things like that
Okay.
don't show up. But everybody else's will show up on this person appointment itinerary. You can, if a patient says, I don't know when, you know, when I'm coming in for you or not, you can run this report and it will tell you when they're going to be here.
Okay. Is this printable as well for just in
This
case?
is printable.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Yep. So we have what we call the single location report by appointment type group. So I'm going to set you up appointment type groups. And this will, when you do it by your location and what we call an appointment type group. So like all psychology new and follow-ups, or all pharmacy, or something like that, it will then print that location's appointment type by group. So you could do it for all the pharmacy, pre and for follow-ups and news. You would see it on this report, right, for that day, for that time frame. It's just another way of being able to see when things are coming up. And again, once we start your training and then I get all of this built, we can run through this and look at it, and I can show you how it's going to kind of all function. Okay. Do you have any questions on the reports?
Nope, nothing so far. Thank you.
Okay. So then I just want to confirm cutover prep so that we can make sure we have it planned exactly. The number of future appointments you have right now, from all of what I saw through the potential, you have somewhere around 500. Is that accurate?
About right, yeah.
Yeah. Based off about some of my numbers. So do you have a way of finding out how many, well, geez, we have so many different resources.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I figured it out to be approximately 500 future appointments. And where are these kept? PCIS, correct?
Yes, that's correct. PCIS. All scheduled at PCIS.
All right. They can run the reports and find them. But I just needed to kind of give them an idea where we're at. So next steps, we have an ambulatory validation session on April the 10th. This is where ambulatory will present their final workflows and things like that. And then mine is on the 13th, and I will actually show you the full build that I have put together for you.
Sorry, Brian, April 10th is
That is right. That is a
Easter
holiday.
Monday, yeah.
So I'm thinking they may be moving that. Let's see. Oh, looks like they're moving it to the 19th. April 19th, and then mine would be after that. Okay, so disregard these.
Okay.
Disregard these. It looks like it's changing. Do you have any questions for me?
No, it's good so far.
Does anybody on the team have any questions that they need asked? Hearing no other questions, I think we are good for today. Thank you for your time, Grace.
Thank you so much, Brian, for having me.
And the only thing I know we need to follow up is you emailing me the all of those preps.
Yes, yes. I'll email you all those templates that we use.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Grace.
Great. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
You guys too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.